basically wanted to make this video because I haven't seen this a lot in YouTubers in YouTube lately. No one's really been making. I think I've seen like one. No one's really been making this anime recently. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. This anime is pure gold. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite animes of all time right now. Right now, of course. If I had to put it, it'll probably be in my top 10, maybe in the top 5. But the only reason it probably wouldn't be in the top 5 is because the pacing of the anime is more like a Attack on Titan, if you will. Like the more episodes you watch, the more questions you have, and as soon as they answer like one or two questions, 50 more questions come behind, just like pop up out of nowhere. So like it's really, really, really hard to understand it. But if you can get past that, if you stick with it to the end, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love it all together. But basically, it was a coin toss between this one or the most top 10 underrated anime of all time. But I'll probably do that one later. But anything, before I even get into it, I want to let you know that this is the same channel. I lost my account for the other one, so I had to make this one. So like and subscribe and comment, all that stuff. But this is basically a video of Juzo Explained. Powers, personality, a little bit of its history, because we haven't dabbled too much. And the manga, that's a little iffy in and of itself. So it hasn't really come to the state yet, the new one. So I gotta wait for that. But spoilers ahead, just to let you know if you're not caught up or anything. Alright, so let's get into it. This is Juzo Explained. Now, before I get into Juzo himself, we got to say what the hell is Juzo in the first place. So Juzo is a overextended. Now, an overextended is a person who has extended through head to toe organs and everything. And what an extended is basically mechanical limbs or arms, eyes, or anything like that. That's basically what an extended is. So if you lose your arm, they give you a mechanical arm. You lose an eye, you get a mechanical eye. You lose a leg, mechanical leg. Or depending how much money you got, depends on the quality of the machinery. So if you rich, you get the good old strong fashion leg, stronger than the one that you lost. You know what I'm saying? If you poor, then you get some hunk of junk and live with that. That's basically what it is. Now, Juzo is an overextended, a gun slave unit, no less. Now, there is a difference between an overextended and a gun slave unit that isn't overextended. For instance, Mega Tech Arms. He is he's an overextended. So I mean he's machinery head to toe, but he's not a gun slave unit. And what makes a gun slave unit is they have hands. Now we're gonna get into that because I want to make sure I go into order. Because the Symphonist, if you watch like the Symphonist of read it, not watch it. If you read it, then it doesn't really do the anime justice because Juzo is not he's not trying to look for someone who did this to him. Basically, he doesn't have any memories from when he was human, but he knows. I think he did it by choice. So like, he's not trying to look or get revenge for whoever put his head, replace his head with a gun. That's not what he's doing. He's basically a resolver. He's a soldier, just trying to do his job. That's basically what it is. He's not looking for revenge or anything like that. He's really content with what he is now. But the difference between an overextended and a gun slave overextended is their hands. So basically, Juzo has, well, his most defining feature is a gun forward face. He's a revolver. And, well, technically, I don't know why he can't just like reach in the back and just pull the trigger himself, because I'm pretty sure he can. I'm pretty sure he can. I mean, aiming gonna be difficult. He gotta look like this, and he's gotta, shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if he looked down, then basically he has a gun for head. Getting off topic. So his hands was his partner. Hands control you, and they were able to activate the devil's backbone. And we're gonna get into that eventually, but right now the devil's backbone is what separates an overextended from a gun slave unit overextended. So it's very complicated. Juzo's personality. We're gonna start with that. We're gonna maybe not be ordered because memory is not gonna be able to go that way. But his personality is very stoic. You know, he's the type like wipe your own ass. That's his own model. Like you can't do that. But he kind of contradicts himself because he takes on jobs even if they don't pay, like Tetsuo. But Yeah, he tries to give people the strength to do it themselves instead of relying on everybody else. That's basically what he is. Uh, he he can be shy sometimes, like when it comes to true romance or romantic stuff like that, or titties. He gets embarrassed and his face gets all white. I mean, gets all pale and stuff like that, which is hard because he has a gun for a face. But yeah, I mean, he can get angry. Not really much about his personality. That's pretty much it. Like, I mean, he has this one running gag where if you pour water on him, he takes out his chamber and he starts like spinning it really fast so it won't rust. But other than that, I mean, he's a laid back dude. That's who he is. It's basically what he is. He's just a laid back dude. That's his personality. Now, Juzo is obviously a gun slave unit, so that means he's numbered. There are technically 1 through 13 that are numbered, and these are where the spoilers. I'm gonna say it again. Spoiler warning: if you have not caught up to the anime or at least read some of the manga, which I don't blame you, it's really hard to find. I had to pay for it. He's a device number 13. He's the last model, and he's a revolver. Now, they don't name the units. If you watch the show, it's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, which was name dropped and seen. Number 6, number 7 was seen. 12, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I believe 12 we saw him in anime. He was the big fat one. And 13. Now, Juzo has a name. Why? Because his hands. His partner was a real cool guy. He, basically a cowboy. So I believe Juzo took his first name, so he has Inui. And his partner said, since you're 13 and Juzo are kind of sounding the same, that's going to be your name, Juzo. So Inui, Juzo. 13. And and the first name is his partner's, I believe. At least that's what they said in the manga. So where is his hands? If you watch anime, you don't see his hands. His guy abandoned. I don't want to say abandoned because then that sounds wrong, but it was implied that he was sick of it. He was done, and it was recalled, and he didn't want to give up on Juzo. So he left and he said, I'm not your puppet anymore. I'm not gonna control you. You have to make your own decisions. What he was trying to do to Juzo, he was trying to make him basically give him the model that he so desperately wants: wipe your own ass, Juzo. Because in the recent episode, we finally get like Juzo's like breaking point when he's fighting Seven. He's like, no matter who pulled my trigger, no matter who's behind releasing and shooting, and I'm pointing. At the end of the day, I'm the one that's pulling the trigger. I'm killing these people. I am the weapon. I'm letting them pull my trigger. So technically, I have no one to blame but myself. All the decisions that I made up until now, it's all because of me. And I've been letting my partner handle all that stress and pile on. Because if you could see the glimpses and stuff, his partner didn't like this. It was vaguely implied through the manga and sprinkled on the manga and in the anime that he doesn't want to do any of this. He doesn't want to kill people. That you could see like the sweat and the nervousness all on his face. And in one episode, in the flashback, Juzo was tied up and he was crying. He's like, "It's my fault for treating you like a human." He was sick of it. The war was too much. And the fraction that Juzo was a part of was called Noble Rock. I believe that's what it was called. You feel for the man. So yes, there's different types of guns, by the way. So Juzo is a revolver. Seven is he's a Glock 9, I believe. He's a regular handgun. 12, which I'm pretty sure that's who he is. I believe 12 is the fat machine gun. 5 was a different type of gun. I can't remember. I want to say handgun too, but he was like a modified handgun, if I'm not mistaken. But let's keep going. So basically, another part of Juzo's past that which makes him get to his breaking point is he killed his brother. It's basically when I saw this episode, I was like, no, no way. But no, he killed his brother. He led them a way out, And for some reason, I don't know why they were standing there looking adrift, but they were standing there looking adrift, and Juzo just sniped him, which is weird because he's a revolver, but he sniped him. We're gonna get into that because that involves the devil's backbone as well. So basically, yeah, he killed most of them. He didn't kill seven, and I believe he didn't kill like a few others. I believe 5 out of the 13 survived, Juzo included. But yeah, no, he mercilessly killed them, and that is how he got out of the war unscathed. Because gunslave units were dangerous as fuck. They units have their hands, they're basically indestructible. Because I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure Juzo doesn't even feel pain. If I'm remembering right, he does not feel pain at all. Or if he does, he just like soldier it through. So now let's get on to powers and abilities. One power is they have. I want to believe they have like a very, 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 very strong resistance to harmony. When Tetsuro tried to control Juzo, Juzo was able to at least move some of his body parts around, and he was able to like move, even though Juzo was taking, Tetsuro was taking part of his sub brain. So same thing with Seven too. He paralyzed Seven for a little while he was controlling him. So they have a strong resistance to harmony. So that's a plus. Another one is needles don't really work on them. I know what you're thinking, but of course needles. If you're saying they're like basically androids, of course needles won't work. No, they're not basically android. They have flesh and stuff. But what it is Fronin uses needles and stuff, and like he uses their needles to attack their subbrain. But because they're overextended, it's kind of hard to find their subbrain. So needles like that don't really work on them, and they can just power through it because they're regular bodies. There's that. Juzo, since he is a overextended, he has guns for hands, just like the rest of them, and they all have different techniques. So, because Juzo's a revolver, he can't use his successfully because that's not how a revolver works. So he has to spin it, stop it, then Furuki Faust, which is one of his named attacks. He has another attack, but it's not named. So he uses Furuki Faust, punches you, and it's basically it. He was able to stop a bullet train first episode. Or was it the second episode? I don't remember. But first episode, he was able to stop a bullet train. Seven, he has a lot of attacks. He has I can't remember. I'm gonna leave it right here, but I know one of them is Faust, and since he's a Glock 9 and automatic firing, so he can keep using these techniques over and over again, as to where Juzo won't be able to. And they all have their same attacks. You pull the trigger, a giant bullet comes out. It's basically how it is, the same thing. Weakness. They need a sedative of some sort because their subbrain will try to power through it and they'll start getting weak and overheat and stuff like that. I only seen it once, but it was talked about in a recent anime. Like I believe once again, I don't know who he is. I think he's 12. The machine gun. He had sake with him, and he uses sake to calm down his subbrain from getting out of control and him rampaging or losing himself. Juzo has his cigarettes, and I believe Seven has candy. Because I think Seven is a boy in an overextended body, so I believe he has his candy to keep his nerves calm. Juzo has the devil's backbone, and now we're on to the good part. The devil backbone is basically parts and limbs and stuff like that. It's more than that, but basically it's parts and limbs. So in season 2, Juzo has one arm, then he loses another arm, so then he has no arms left. So then he can manually activate devil's backbone, which I'll get into it. What happens when he does that? But it's not a good idea. But when he does it, he's able to. When he uses it, he grabs 2 more arms out of the devil's backbone, and he can replace his limbs and everything like that. He can basically heal himself. And device number 12 said we can't heal ourselves without the devil's backbone. Since our hands abandon us, we can't access it without going on a rampage. Because when he was fighting Victor Shadow, whole of the video, when he was fighting Victor Shadow, Victor had to come in and stop it because he's like, "Are you crazy? You want to kill everybody here?" Because when he activates the full force of Devil's Backbone, he's basically a rampaging beast. His sub brain takes over, and everything else just washes away. But it was because of Juzo that the overextendeds got recalled because they were too dangerous, and that's why the flashback of him in the car crying, like, "I'm sorry, it's because I treat you like a human." That was pretty much it. I mean, he has attacks, but he doesn't really name what Fuki Faust. He's incredibly strong. Obviously, he's just overextended. He's really, really, really fast. Durable. Oh, there's one more thing. Juzo doesn't have eyes, but he has sensors, so he can still see. So if you were to put like a paper bag over his head and he would walk around, he can still see all of his surroundings. Or not paper bag, but like, bag him, he can still see. He has sensors, so there's that. That's a neat little thing. He still drinks. He still needs to eat. So I believe he still has taste buds, I guess. Weakness, he doesn't have hands, so he can't use the Devil's Backbone. It was implied because Spitzbergen, I love saying that name. Spitzbergen, there was like, they needed Harmony to activate Juzo's Devil's Backbone again, because Juzo can't beat Seven because Seven has a hand. As long as Seven has Pepper, then it's a losing battle. Because Juzo's Devil Backbone gives him 2 more hands to make a sniper, and Seven's Backbone gives him like 2 more guns, so he can't win. Now he can activate, like, I don't want to say this is the Devil Backbone, but like they say it in anime, but it's like a downgraded version of the battle protocol that he activates. That way, like, he's in control of himself, but he's not at full power. It's like, I want to say he's like, at least he's at 50, while Seven's at 100, and he's still kicking Seven's ass. I'm not gonna cap. He's still beating the shit out of Seven. But then when Pepper unleashes the Devil's Backbone, that's when, or pulled the trigger. That's when he started getting his ass handed to him. Talked about his power. Talked about his personality. His relationships. He sees Mary as a daughter. When he left the war, Victor told him to protect her, and that's what he does. It was said in the wiki, I don't believe it, but he's trying to groom Tetsuo to be his next hands, which I don't think he's trying to. But if it happens, I can see it happening. I just don't want it to happen. I want Tetsuo to be his own man. Yeah, he killed his brother. Personality is kind of stoic. Powers, I said that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's all in all, it's a really good anime. Season 2's really been hype. I don't think there's any more. He admits to Steam, so to give him cover or anything, he's able to do that too. But I don't want to keep this. I don't want to drag on this video, but I'm pretty sure there's only so much Devil's Backbone can do. It only replaces lives. It doesn't really help you interior wise. So there's that. Thank you for watching, and I'll probably come out with the top 10 anime. 見せてみたまえ。あ、戻せ。休憩。ファースト。